Hey YouTube community, it's Hannah. Hi. I want to do a video about my Bitcoin vow of silence that I'm taking as my New Year's resolution for 2026, but I'm actually starting it early, except I already fucked that up last night at the tattoo parlor, but it's going to take me practice. But I'm all prettied up because I have a concert that I'm going to go to at the Palace tonight, and I'm all ready to go, and I have like an hour and a half before I even need to leave, and it's not enough time to like do anything else, and I already did all the things I need to do. So I just thought, why not sit down and do a little video. And when I sat down and turned on my, like, I think when I'm standing up, this dress looks more like there's not so much of this going on. Like, that's kind of crazy. I think it's just because I'm sitting down. It's a really beautiful, like, floor length dress. And there's still little bugs on it. So, like, little side Hawaii wonders of living in Hawaii note. I hadn't worn this in a while. It's in my closet. And so I put it on and I was admiring it in the mirror, and I noticed like a little white speck on it or something. So I looked down and I wiped that off, and then bugs exploded. Like these tiny little bugs exploded out of it. And it was some kind of like nest. And there was just like these tiny little like gnat ants or something that were just like crawling all over the skirt of the dress. And you would think I would just rip it off, but I'm pretty committed to wearing this dress tonight because it's just so gorgeous. So I went outside and I was like slapping at myself and brushing. They're like all over my legs and stuff. And then I sprayed it with eucalyptus oil, which is probably not great for the dress. But anyway, that happened. Finding a fucking nest in my skirt. Anyway, so Bitcoin vow of silence. I realize that sounds probably so fucking dramatic. What do I want to say? I'm really into Bitcoin. I want to continue discussing and exploring Bitcoin because it's a subject that no matter how much you learn, you never have learned all of it. On, my videos, like on my blog, like in creative formats, certainly. And I want to also keep discussing Bitcoin with other people who are in the Bitcoin space, to any degree. So kind of like my rule going into this, and let's hope I can stick to it, is no more discussions with no coiners. And so if people want to like talk about Bitcoin with me, then they can buy literally any amount. They could buy $5 worth of Bitcoin and I'd be happy to talk with. I don't think people are like knocking down my door. In fact, people specifically don't want to hear about Bitcoin from me. Like my coworkers and shit. They don't want to hear about it. So it's not like I'm creating like a real hard sell here. Like, oh, you're going to have to buy it to like fucking get in on this. It's like, no one wants to get in on this. Like, that's the point, But so I guess the caveat I would have to make is that I'm happy to help, as I have done many, many, many times, help get somebody set up with a wallet to purchase their own Bitcoin. Just like, here's what you do on your phone, just like I would help somebody figure out how to get into their email or something like that. Like, I would help someone do that. But that's my 2026 New Year's resolution that I'm making it active now. Except, like I said, I already fucked this up at the tattoo parlor. So I was getting this part of this tattoo like touched up because it had gotten really blurry last night. And so she's running my card for $100, and then she tells me, sorry, it's 109 because of the credit card fees. And I was like, damn, you should just take Bitcoin. Let me pay you in Bitcoin. And she goes, I'm scared of Bitcoin. And I was like, damn, I said the thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like so hard for me to get ahead of myself on this. I already was like, Hannah, don't. And she goes, I'm really scared of Bitcoin. And I was like, okay, fine. I regret mentioning it. And she goes, I have a lot of money saved and I need to do something with it, but I just don't know what to do, and I'm scared of Bitcoin. And then I still wasn't going to say anything. I was still like, Hannah, shut the fuck up. And then her coworker guy, he goes, well, and he launches into this sort of like half-informed, honestly, like not bad for a normie, not bad for a no coiner, like this sort of like half-informed thing. And I was like, okay, well, yes, but no. And then, it wasn't I didn't do too bad of a job. I mean, I think I'm the one who wrapped it up. I was like, I said, here's what I told her. I said, I have a ton of tattoos that need touch-ups, and this was my first session with her. I've been wanting to like get started on this process. I mean, I have like tattoos all over my body that are getting old and need touched up, and I'm probably just going to do it an hour at a time because it hurts and stuff, you know, and money. So I said, let's just keep working with each other, and later on down the road, maybe at one point I'll pay you like $50 and half Bitcoin, and you can just kind of see how that feels and what happens with it, you know. That's it. That's like how I exited the conversation, pretty much. But anyway, okay, back to the vow of silence. Nobody likes a person who's constantly talking about their pet thing. Everybody's like, yeah, we know that that's your pet thing. So, you know, it's just exhausting. I don't like people like that. Nobody likes people like that. So when you find yourself like doing that thing, it fucking sucks because you're like, I'm doing it again, you know? And with most subjects that I'm passionate about, I've figured out how to just like shut the fuck up, or direct those conversations to people who are also into that thing, you know? Like plant-based diet, or like barbell lifting, or like songwriting, or music production, or like writing creative nonfiction, or like any of the other things I'm into, you know? I have like made this maneuver. It's not that hard to make. So I'm the problem. That's what the vow of silence is about. Like, I need to shut the fuck up and stop being the problem. That could be it. That could just be the video right there. You're welcome. Good night. But I have like an hour and a half before I gotta go. So, okay. What? So, the reason it's hard to shut the fuck up is because as far as earning and saving in dollars or in fiat, we're all in the same boat. We're not in the same boat. We're in the same burning building. And the last thing I would want to do if I was in a burning building with my loved ones and I had identified a viable exit would be to not direct them to the viable exit, because I consider the burning building to be an existential threat to the lives and well-being of my loved ones. So would I be willing to kind of be obnoxious? But it doesn't really work in that analogy, because they would also be looking for an exit. So they would be receptive, you know? So it kind of works, it kind of doesn't. But that's how it feels like. That's why it's hard to shut the fuck up. I mean, I guess all of us would rather be in a fiat death spiral than in a literal burning building, but it's almost like half of one, six, a dozen of the other. It's like the suffering, the minutia, and the maxutia of the suffering for week after week, month after month, year after year, that is involved in being 100% allocated to a system, a fiat system that's in its death spiral. And the level of like fighting for your life and having to pay Peter, borrow, what's that saying? Steal from Peter to pay Paul, to go without, to pull down your expectations for a quality of life or for happiness, to spread yourself thin, to stay in relationships and jobs and situations that are absolutely toxic and miserable and that like crush your soul and that like hurt your body because you just can't afford to go a couple paychecks in order to, look for some, like, I love Robert Kiyosaki. I talk about Rich Dad, Poor Dad sometimes. Like, what he defines as your kind of like relative wealth is like, how long can you go? How long can you last without a paycheck? It's almost like if you weren't able to go to the grocery store anymore and you just got the shit that's in your fridge and in your house, like how long could you go before you ran out of food? But like the financial version of that, and in a fiat death spiral where everybody's earning and saving I'm sorry, it just feels like I'm like really like titties out right now. I didn't think it was going to be this bad. And I promise you when I stand up, it's not that bad. Whatever. Everyone will just get over it. Yeah, when you're, you know, unable to go to miss even a couple of paychecks, and you're, you know, I don't have to explain this to you. We're all in the fucking burning building, okay? Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like everything gets worse because everything gets worse. And if you like could do a maneuver, then it would get better, but you can't do that maneuver because you're being destroyed and like torn apart by a pack of wolves. That's the fiat death spiral. And everyone who's managed to get themselves over into Bitcoin, which has been nonstop like attacked and shit talked by the government, etc., like central banker, like propaganda machine, the matrix that's designed to make us fat and sick and gay and dumb and poor and low T and undermuscled and woke and no coiners. Ugh. I mean, in terms of like a nonstop like onslaught of like negative misinformation about Bitcoin, often offered by the very people who are on the backside, like accumulating as much Bitcoin as they can for fucking obvious reasons, because they want to get in as much as they can before the normal people wake up. So the normal people, the poor people, are just like, oh well, it's a Ponzi, you know, or it's gonna collapse, it's gonna go to zero, or you know, now the price is too high, so we all need to do XRP because it's gonna replace the Swift banking system, or just scared. Just, I mean, like that, like the tattoo artist, she was amazing. She did a great job too. Like that's what she said. She goes, I'm scared of Bitcoin. She said, I have savings. And she was like, I need to do something with them, but I'm scared. So it's like, she, on some level, you know, I'm sure she recognizes this, but maybe not. She doesn't have like the actual figures, but it's like, just by holding that savings in dollars, she's losing 10 to 15 or possibly more. It's like difficult to measure the dollar's collapse. It's like easier to measure other currencies collapse against the dollar, like year over year, but it's more difficult to measure the dollars because we're constantly being presented with like false data, because they like cherry pick stuff to like measure the purchasing power against, that's like not as bad as what we all know from just fucking living our lives, like what's actually going on, you know? So is it 10%? Is it 15%? Is it 20% that, you know, of her like ice cubes that are melting just by holding it, you know, like, that's her. Like, she worked for that money. It's hard to be a tattoo artist. It's like a lot of like, you know, repetitive muscle, like injury, like concentration, like being an artist and like being this like almost like manual labor at the same time, and just like hour after hour. It's like she deserves to be able to hold on to every single penny of those savings that she earned with her sweat equity. You know what I mean? And it like breaks my heart to know for a fact that because she's holding that in dollars, it's just melting like ice. And that I know the solution. I know the thing that's better. I know the thing that's better. And so it's some iteration of this, again, addressing the question of like, okay, I'm the problem, so like, why am I the fucking problem? I know that everybody hates the person who does the thing that I've been doing, so like, why do I keep doing it? What's my success rate? What's my conversion rate? I'm gonna say 0. I can't think of a single fucking person on this planet. I mean, there's some people, certainly. There's some people. Some of them are friends. Some of them are like random taxi drivers or whatever from Armenia. There's people on this planet that like have like a Bitcoin wallet, and they have some Bitcoin in it because of me, because of like direct action on my part. Does that mean something to them? No, it fucking doesn't. Okay. So why did I do that? Because I'm an evangelist. I'm in a cult. I'm that obnoxious person who needs to fucking stop. That's why. But no, is there anyone on this planet in my years of evangelizing about Bitcoin, like helplessly, I get like helplessly dragged into it. And I get dragged into it because the people, I don't even like bring it up. Like the people I'm talking to are suffering, and they're like complaining about all of the things that happen downstream of broken money and fiat death spiral and currency collapse in a burning building. They're complaining about it, and their complaints are valid and important and urgent and time sensitive, you know? That's why I do it. Like, that's why I get dragged into it. I just get hooked into it. And then here lately it got like, I think this is why I'm like extra on my like vow of silence right now, is because like with coworkers specifically, I've just had a couple of conversations where I'm like, somehow now we're both trapped in something that feels so shitty, and it's my fault. It's my fault. And as soon as I realized that, I should just let it go. And in fact, I should have never like started it in the first place. But there's a thing that can happen. And I've experienced this many times with like talking about like plant-based diet too, which is why I just don't do it. Like, I already figured this out a long time ago with like plant-based diet. Like, people don't want to hear that shit. It doesn't matter what all the things that they're complaining about that like I've found, and you know, turns out nope. They don't want to hear it. Okay, so just shut the fuck up. I already figured that out. I'm having to have my moment now. Going to figure this out. So they're like suffering so hard, or you know, or maybe it's a little bit more casual. I mean, luckily, the people that I deal with at work are like very highly skilled, very highly paid. They're more in the position of being like middle class, which is, as you know, as well as I do, that's like evaporating fast as well. But you know, they're pulling down some paychecks. They're doing good. We're in a good industry. I'm in helicopter. I'm in aviation fueling, but I mean, I'm working with like helicopter people, like highly skilled helicopter people, and emergency response people. So they're not so much that like they can pay their bills and shit, you know, but they're like looking for places to like park any extra money that they have because of the thing, you know. So those kinds of conversations will sort of like arise more along those lines, right? But anyway, however it starts, and whatever misjudgment I make, which is just constant, at the earliest feeling really of that sort of like butting heads kind of thing that happens, that's when I should just absolutely, I should have even started to begin with. But then when that happens, I should like evacuate the conversation immediately, you know, just for my well-being. You know, like, I don't need this shit. Like, I'm already fully allocated. Like, I don't need them to do anything. It doesn't fucking help me, you know? It doesn't hurt me and it doesn't help me. Like, they can do whatever they want. They're like free people. So, that's the point at which I should just like, pull the cord. But it's hard for me because generally when that happens, it's because of some kind of like literally like massive like factual misunderstanding on their part. Like, the assertion that like Bitcoin isn't backed by anything, and I'm like, well, it's backed by power, and they're like, well, what the fuck does that mean? And then I'm like, well, I used to not know either, so I just explain it in really simple terms, and they're like, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, I know, like, because of like fiat, we're so fucked up that we don't even think that something being backed by like real world physics and like power, like, you can counterfeit money, you can't counterfeit energy. You can probably innovate like Tesla did to find ways to make energy cheaper for everyone, but you can't counterfeit it, you know? And then it's like right around this time that like power struggle feeling starts, and that's when I should leave. But I'm just like, it's so difficult for me not to at least just like make the point that like power matters or something like that, you know? But then, I mean, essentially like what happens is that people polarize. And I'm not dumb, you guys. Like, I'm not retarded. Like, I get like energy dynamics and like conversation dynamics and like argument dynamics and stuff like that. And usually I don't get crosswise with it because it just doesn't matter what the debate is. Once people polarize, nobody's changing anybody's mind. And because this person over here is so fully occupying that position, it's natural to polarize against that position. And so if I'm so fully occupying the Bitcoin maxi position, which I just can't not, you know, as a response to their complaining about standing in their burning building, then that leaves them completely free. They don't have to like have where, you know, the thing that we do when we're kind of left to our own devices, where we're like having an argument with ourselves, which is a very valuable process, you know. But because I'm having the argument, debate, whatever, then they're fully polarized over here. And they're having like a knee-jerk react. Like people are just very, very like emotionally charged negative against Bitcoin, which is not a surprise or a coincidence. Like I said, it's been 16 years of like an onslaught of like negative propaganda, paid for and distributed like vociferously by the powers that be, that would obviously benefit from us not getting ourselves over into like freedom technology, you know, and freedom infrastructure. So the knee-jerk reaction is a very negative one. It's not so much one that is like, yeah, I just don't know about that, you know. It's like I'm coming from a place of like genuine ignorance. It's like I think I know about it, and I know that it's stupid. Like I thought about it for 5 minutes. No, they didn't think about it for 5 minutes, trust me. They thought about it for 5 seconds and they decided that it's stupid. And that anybody who's like involved in Bitcoin is stupid, and anybody who invests in Bitcoin is stupid. I mean, something on this level, right? I mean, sometimes we don't really like fully articulate our thoughts until like hindsight, and then we're like, oh, I don't know why, you know, that was like crazy negative, right? But anyway, the point being, I'm sure you get all that, is that then with all of that like energetic, you know, tug of war going on, the thing that's going to happen, like 100% of the time, for sure, 100% of the time, is that I will be demonized. They will demonize me as like like I'm the like messenger, and they don't like the message, so they demonize me, and then it's awkward, and then we still have to work together for like fucking weeks, you know. Like be like embedded. And it's not that bad. I mean, there's like all kinds of other things to talk about, and they just think I'm weird and probably gullible, you know, or they're like, she might be onto something, but also fuck her. Like, I think that's actually like she thinks she's so smart and she might be onto something, but fuck her. But it's like extra hard when they also say things like, damn, I should have, damn, back in 2010, I XYZ, I had some, I sold it, or like my friend told me about it and I was about to, but I didn't, or, you know, like all those things that people say. It's extra hard when they do that. And I'm like, but, you know, as we say in the Bitcoin community, Bitcoin is an ego test. It's also a humility test. It's like an everything test. I don't know why they think that whatever it is that took it from where it was in 2010 till now isn't like still happening. But I mean, it's like, you just have to be sort of like humble enough to like receive some information and blah, blah, blah. Here I fucking go, you know? So this is the kind of situation I found myself in. And it's got to stop. It's just got to stop. And this video has to stop. And I'm also guilty of making really long fucking videos too, you know. That's fine. So yeah, that's that's a little bit about my Bitcoin vow of silence. Active now, you know, except for my creative platform. Of course, I can do whatever I want here. But yeah, you know, I think it's good. I think it's really good. There's going to be some times where I think I'm going to be challenged. The devil will tempt me. My resolve will be tested. But I think I can like exit myself back out of it pretty quickly, because the one thing that people are really good at is to like not want to talk about Bitcoin. So if I like catch myself, it's just going to be over, you know, it's just going to be over. And then we might, like a year plus, you know, it's going to be like a year and 2 months, because this is like my 2026 resolution plus starting now. You know, that's a long time. A lot can happen in Bitcoin in that time. And it might be that, I mean, this is everybody's like fucking retarded fantasy, is that everybody realizes that you were right, you know, and then they're all like, oh, you were right. Like, that's never, I've been right about a lot of shit, you guys, like a lot. Like, check my social media track record, except for the times when I was constantly in jail because of how fucking right I was. You know, I've been right about a lot of stuff. So I'll be right about this too. Guess how many times somebody came back and like apologized to me or said that like Hannah, you were right and I was wrong. Like, none, never, not once. Not once. Not once about COVID, not once about vaccines, not once about Trump, not once about immigration, not once about like Bitcoin, not once about anything. So no, 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 no. No one's gonna come and say that I was right. I mean, I guess just for my own, like, completely, like, shabby ass ego reasons, like, it would be kind of nice at some point during the year if someone was kind of like got it, you know, like had the epiphany or whatever and was like, oh, Hannah's the person that knows about that. Let me like go ask her. And then I would be like, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you unless you own some Bitcoin. Like, that would feel really good. But yeah, I mean, the definition of insanity is just to keep doing the same thing that you've been doing and expect a different response. And like, so far, I've been excitedly talking about Bitcoin for years with different friends and family members and coworkers and random people. And 0% of them think that that's interesting at all. So I need to just shut the fuck up. Like, so this is not a video about how stupid other people are. This is a video about how stupid I am and that I'm trying to get better. All right. I hope you have a great evening. I hope I enjoy my concert. I hope my cleavage doesn't look this crazy when I stand up and walk around. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.